In the Bleach anime, each Shinigami has a unique and diverse Zanpakutou. The Zanpakutou in the early stages can change into Shikai mode, and the second, more powerful stage changes are called Bankai. Bankai abilities are very rare in Bleach's story because only high-class Shinigami such as lieutenants and captains of Gotei have them. In addition, each Bankai usually also has special abilities and very high destructive power. Well, this time I want to review the list of the most dangerous Bankai and maybe the strongest Bankai in the story. But before we start this video, please smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and click notification bell, or you will miss future anime videos. Koko Gonryo Rikyu is the Bankai name of this former Gotei 1st Division lieutenant with a very powerful thunder force. By releasing lightning from his sword, Chojiro's Bankai can create a dome of lightning that is above the user's head. Chojiro's Bankai ability also has several special abilities, namely being able to manipulate the weather by turning the sky into black clouds, thunder, and powerful lightning strikes. Because of this strong Bankai, Chojiro was able to inflict a permanent wound on Genryusai Yamamoto's forehead. There is Mayuri Kurotsuchi's Bankai named Konjiki Ashisogi Jizo. This Bankai has a quite unique appearance and looks a little scary because this Bankai is in the form of a giant baby head and the body of a caterpillar. However, behind its sinister appearance, this Bankai has a formidable ability because his entire body is made up of deadly poison. In battle, Ashisogi Jizo will emit poisonous breath throughout the area, so that this attack is almost impossible for the opponent to dodge. The poison from this Bankai can only be neutralized with antibodies created by Mayuri. The next strongest Bankai is Hitsugaya's Bankai named Daiguren Hyorinmaru. This Bankai, also known as the Ice Dragon, fuses with Hitsugaya's body and gives him a pair of wings and a tail. Unlike the other Bankai, Hitsugaya's Bankai has various functions and advantages, namely freezing opponents, long-range attacks, and regenerating himself when this Bankai is destroyed. In addition, Hitsugaya's strength in using his Bankai also increased greatly after he went through strenuous training. Unohana's Bankai named Minazuki was first shown during her fight against Kenpachi Zaraki. When releasing her Bankai, Unohana's sword will melt and turn into a dark red liquid like blood. From that blood-like liquid then formed a sword that was shorter, but very powerful. Unohana's Bankai has acidic properties that can reduce the opponent's strength in battle if there is physical contact. For example, when Unohana attacks Kenzaki with this Bankai, which instantly turns his body into a skeleton in seconds. There is Ichibe Hyosube's Bankai from Division 0 named Shirafide Ichimonji. His Bankai is very strong and can end a fight very quickly. However, to use the power of his Bankai to its full potential, he must mark the enemy with ink ejected from his sword in the form of a Shikai. When he uses Bankai mode, Ichibe can't easily change anything in the opponent's self that has been marked with the words made. Simply put, Ichibe could easily end the fight with just one word. With this Bankai, Ichibe almost defeats Yhwach the Quincy King. Unfortunately, the Quincy King has a vision of the future that makes Ichibe lose. The next dangerous Bankai is Ichimaru Gien's Bankai named Kamishiri no Yari. When his Bankai is activated, there may not be any special effects surrounding it, as Gien's Bankai abilities are basically the same as his Shikai abilities. However, Gien's attacks in Bankai mode become faster and more deadly. Proof of the horror of this Bankai is that Gien can destroy dozens of buildings that are still normal in one attack from a distance. In addition, this Bankai also has a hidden poison that can damage the opponent's cells at the molecular level to kill the target affected by his Bankai scratches. Next, there is Kuchiki Byakuya's Bankai named Sebanzakura Kageyoshi. To activate his Bankai, Byakuya drops his Zanpakutou to the ground and then appears 2 rows of 1,000 giant swords extending backwards. The swords will then scatter into thousands of small pink blades, just like cherry blossoms. With thousands of blades that can be controlled, Byakuya can easily slash his opponent's body, and Byakuya's attacks are very difficult to dodge. However, Byakuya also has a weakness, namely a safe zone created by Byakuya so that he is not exposed to attacks from these knives. However, Byakuya can also attack within the safe zone when the enemy enters the zone to attack him. Shunsui Kyoraku's Bankai was first shown during the war arc against the Quincy. When he activated his Bankai, the area around him would be filled with a dark aura. This aura can affect the opponent's mental state until the opponent feels various levels of melancholy and despair. His Bankai also has 4 stages when used in combat. In the first stage, Shinsu and his enemy will share each other's wounds. Then, black spots appear all over the opponent's body to inflict maximum damage on the opponent. Then, a large volume of water will envelop them until they can't get out or their Ryatsu runs out, and in the last stage, Kyoraku will decapitate the enemy with a white thread. Next up, there's Kenpachi Zaraki's nameless Bankai. Even without a Bankai, Zaraki was actually very strong, but he finally showed his Bankai power in the fight against the Quincy. In addition, this Bankai can be activated when Yachiru the vice captain joins Zaraki. When activating the Bankai, Kenpachi's sword will turn into a giant, and then Zaraki's form also changes to a red color so he looks very much like a berserker. Zaraki's power when using Bankai increased many times, and he was able to overwhelm Gerard Valkyrie. In third place, there is Urahara's Bankai named Kanabiriki Banihime Altarme. This Bankai is very unique because it has the embodiment of a giant woman with braided hair and hands that look like mannequin hands. His Bankai has a special power, which is able to restructure anything. This ability fits perfectly with Urahara's personality. He can use the Bankai to both attack opponents and support friends in battle. His Bankai can split anything in his surroundings, repair buildings, and heal physical wounds. In addition, this Bankai can also increase Urahara's physical abilities. Unlike the Bankai in general, Ichigo's Bankai named Tensa Zangetsu is very unique. Ichigo's first Bankai has a black sword form, which is stronger than his Shikai form and greatly enhances Ichigo's abilities. The proof is the moment when Ichigo fought against Byakuya. In addition, Ichigo also has a second Bankai form, which he showed during the fight against Iwatch. To activate it, Ichigo places his 2 swords that are still in Shikai mode side by side, causing a burst of energy that devours both his soul and blade. This special Bankai ability is unfortunately not shown in full, but Ichigo is shown to be able to cut Iwatch with his Bankai. In first place, there is a Bankai belonging to the badass grandfather of the former chairman of the Gotei 13 named Zanka no Tachi. When Yamamoto took out his Bankai, the air around him would turn so hot that the water and plants dries up too. In addition, his Bankai's heat power is said to be hotter than the sun and capable of slashing anything. With this Bankai, Yamamoto has a high-level ultimate attack, and defense is so strong that he is very hard to beat. Uniquely, Yamamoto's body is also enveloped by fire when using his Bankai. However, Yamamoto can't use his Bankai for too long because he can destroy buildings or places around him, and even himself can be destroyed.